Cahirirlach agus bawatlam buicas a gavail vasuk dan olis a kurshiv osagor imagine. I just have one question. In terms of, like, the document talks about the need for the universities who are happy to engage with reform and indeed adapt to the changing skills needs of the country. But I'm just wondering, in terms of students from disadvantaged backgrounds, we had a HEA report which showed that there is systematic disadvantage, indeed, that there are barriers to students progressing to third level who come from disadvantaged backgrounds. And I'm just wondering, like, what reforms do you feel are needed in order to meet the needs of these students, and indeed to change that, and indeed make sure that that barrier is taken away and that we have greater participation of students from disadvantaged backgrounds?
I think, thank you, Deputy. I think the issues you raise are very close to our heart. You'll probably have seen the My Uni Life series on television over the last number of weeks, which highlights the stories of 7 students who have come from various disadvantages, disability or socioeconomic, and have made it through college. The whole issue of access is one that has been driven by the universities. The DARE and HERE schemes, which are coordinated out of the IUA, were effectively set up by the universities, and then the state came in and became involved in supporting those over the years. But I think this needs to be rolled into the funding agenda, the sustainable funding agenda. We don't just, like, the question on funding is not just do we need more money in the system. The question of how that money is spent is equally important. And I think that comes back to the issue of, there's been, I think the Minister has said that this issue has been shirked, but I mean, I think the issue of fees and so on, are there some people in society who can afford to pay fees, and are there others who can't? And I think the answer is there are, and therefore that issue needs to be tackled in any reform of the funding model. And we're hugely supportive of that. We have some of our universities where upwards of 25% of the students come in through access schemes. But we also know that there are schools within walking distance of some of those universities where less than 10% of students go to higher education. From a societal level, that is simply wrong, and it needs to be fixed, and universities would strongly advocate for a fix on that.
Yep.